Okay, good afternoon, Blue Skiers. Welcome to the first of many Tech Experience sessions. I'm going to take you through a couple of things before we get started, just some um, intro, some context into why we are doing a session like this, who should be listening to it, who should be engaging. I'm going to take you through an agenda. We've got some special guests that will be joining us as well on the call. So first of all, let's go through some context. I mean, why do we need to have a tech experience? I think on the back of what we've just discussed and what we just agreed as an organization to get back to the office, to work from the office, to work from our client site, it's important as well that each and every individual within Blue Sky is enabled to have both business and technology type conversations with the clients. Make no mistake, our clients are well informed. They've done their research, they understand the emerging technology. And so now we are going to be more sort of in their faces. We are going to be in their office. We're going to have some corridor talks. We're going to talk over coffee as well. It is so important, Blue Skiers, that we are able to hold a conversation with our clients, that we don't come across as we don't come across as unknowing or not having enough knowledge about what's happening within the market and within the technology space as well. So introducing Tech Xperiences. And the entire aim is for us to go through it together. What's the emerging tech that is out there in the market right now? What is relevant? What is our client? What are our clients actually investigating? And in so doing, enable you to have those conversations as well. And so I think it's only fitting that the first topic, or the topic that we've chosen for our first TechX is going to be GPT. GPT, artificial intelligence, and AI. Now, very interesting. I think when we look at GPT, okay, I think there's one thing that comes to mind. Everybody is familiar with Chat GPT. Okay, is that right? And by the way, I've got a wonderful live audience here with me as well. Lots of surprises, lots of gifts coming your way as well. What is GPT? And I guess, as I said, I think we are all familiar with Chat GPT, which, by the way, is only a single use case. It's only one use case for the overarching GPT. And GPT is generative pre-trained transformers. We'll come to what that means. But there is so much more to GPT. Now you are going to be hearing concepts and models like large language models. You're going to be talking about neural networks. You know, when you open up and you go to ChatGPT and you ask ChatGPT, write your CV, your resume, or write an article for you, you need to understand what are those models? What is the mechanisms at the back end that's actually doing the intelligence? And here's something you may not know. ChatGPT and something called a neural network is actually very similar to the way our brain works, the way our neurons and the way our neural network works, multiple layers, multiple permutations as well. And we'll go through it. Now, you've seen the awe of ChatGPT, haven't you? I mean, you've seen all of the, write me an essay or write my CV or ChatGPT. I mean, write me some code, by the way, as well. And it's able to output it for you. And here's the thing. What is GPT? GPT is a generative AI, a generative AI. In the past, a couple of years ago, maybe 5 years ago, by the way, AI is not something new. AI has been here for decades. But in the past, it's always been prescriptive, isn't it? It's always been prescriptive in the sense that you give it a data set, it goes and analyzes the data set and almost prescribes an output for you. It almost predicts an output. So it's predictive in a sense. And so it's able to forecast based on a data set that you provide it, what is the forecast going to be. GPT is different. Here's where GPT is different and why it's so phenomenal. GPT is generative. What does that mean? GPT generates an outcome. So you give it an input. An input could be, write me a CV with a professional tone to it. Uh, and the job that I am seeking is within the financial services. GPT goes and actually generates an outcome. It generates an output. So when you look at Chat GPT and you look at GPT as a whole, what you will realize is the difference between previous AI and the AI that we have in front of us now is it's able to generate content. And by the way, it's not only limited to text, it's not only limited to video, by the way, music. I mean, it can generate music, it can generate algorithms. Now, GPT and all of these new AI tools that we have uses a model called a large language model. And what that means is you feed it data. The more data you feed it, the more it's able to generate an outcome. Now, imagine you feed a GPT model music, uh, music from Mozart. It will go digest all of the information, ingest all of the information, and be able, maybe your input after after it's ingested all of the data is what? Write me a contemporary, write me a Mozart sort of hymn or song based on modern culture. And it's able to take the two worlds together. What does it do? It generates something new. So that's the beauty, that's the benefit of GPT, not just linked to Chat GPT, but it is generative in nature. Here's the thing, how does it work? How does it get better? Because what you will see is you go to Chat GPT today, you type something in, tomorrow you ask the same question, it provides more information. It's continually learning. So let me try and simplify it for you, right? How does GPT work? There's two elements to it. There's a generator, and you can consider a generator to be an artist. Okay, what does a generator do? He generates an outcome. So let's say, as an example, we want GPT to paint us a picture of Einstein. There is a generator component of GPT that will go and it will start. Based on the information that we've given to GPT, it will go and craft an image of Albert Einstein. But here, there's another component to GPT, and that component is actually a discriminator. A discriminator comes in, and a discriminator within GPT acts as a critic. No, 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 I think you've got his hair wrong. The color of his hair is incorrect. And so what the discriminator is going to do, he's now going to almost mark the homework. He's going to mark the output. And based on the information that a discriminator has, it will then say, is it real or is it not? Where are the areas of improvement? And so what you will have going forward, it's almost like a game, a generator and a discriminator. So when you start off with your first query, your first output for GPT, it's going to be raw. It's not going to be refined. A discriminator comes in and a discriminator will say, well, this is what you need to do. This is where you are missing the mark. This is the additional data set that you need to give it in order for it to refine the model. And so they work together. And what is the outcome? Well, the outcome is you now have a discriminator who is continuously refining the model. And then you could add additional inputs. Paint me a picture of Albert Einstein with modern clothing. It's able to take all of the modern fashion that it understands. It knows information about Albert Einstein, and it's able, via the generator and the discriminator, to give you an output, continuously learning. You know, Albert Einstein once said, logic will get you from A to B. Imagination will get you everywhere. AI, absolutely brilliant. GPT, absolutely brilliant. It's what you do with it. It's what you do with it. It's your creativity that actually brings it to life. So that's why, I mean, that's the top of mind conversations that are happening with your clients right now. Now, okay, so we've taken and we now understand what is GPT, but at a high level, it generates an outcome, it generates outputs. It can be video, it can be content, it can be music, whatever, it can be code. Remember, I spoke about a large language model? why not train your GPT to develop code? What would you then do? You would give it all of the code bases for Apex models. You would send it, you would give it all of the algorithms for Udemy, train your model, and it starts generating code based on the information. What will the discriminator do? Whenever your code comes up with an output that is incorrect, the discriminator will now continue to enhance it, continue to make it even better. GPT. That's GPT. Now let's talk about its relevance, right? And I think the one way that we're going to talk about the relevance of GPT is, what are the big players doing? What's the breaking news out there? What are the headlines that are coming out across from the market? Number one, everybody knows Elon Musk. Okay, so Elon Musk now launches a new AI company. He's calling it X.AI. At the moment, it's about 12 researchers within the organization, all reporting directly to Elon. What does he want to do? He wants to use GPT to understand the universe. He wants to bring it all together, and he wants to understand reality, take all of the information. What's Elon's play in all of this? Well, he sees some dangers in it, right? And what he's seeing is this. He's looking at OpenAI, you know, the chat GPT that you go in and you talk to. Are there biases that have been programmed into it? Yes, there are. I mean, again, you look at what's relevant in the world today, you look at the woke type culture that we have. If all you do is feed a model just content, history, it's going to have certain biases. It's going to have certain outcomes as well. So you now have a layer that's there, that's managing it, that is controlling the rules and the layers that are going into GPT. And what Elon is trying to do is, no, no, no. We just want reality for what it is. I want to understand the universe. I want to throw data at a GPT model. I don't want any rules or regulations to almost control what the outputs should be. I want a GPT that's seeking maximum truth. He's investing heavily in it. And by the way, he's not doing it just for the sake of understanding the universe. Absolutely, that's a marketing spiel as well. Where will he use a model like this? I mean, again, he's got SpaceX, he's got Tesla, he's got the Boring Company. All of the information, all of the algorithms that he will now bring in will be used to further his organizations. Microsoft, by the way, about to introduce a very special guest as well from Microsoft. Microsoft have just launched Microsoft Fabric, a one-stop analytics solution that businesses have been waiting for. Listen, AI does not happen overnight. GPT does not happen overnight. And I'm sure you're all wondering, what's your play in all of this? I mean, what's BlueSky's play? I mean, how is it relevant for me, and how can I benefit from it? And so we'll come to that, because we absolutely have a play in all of this. Now, Microsoft have released an entire platform that it's all about bringing data together, analyzing the data, and applying the GPT models to it. They've got a concept called Copilot. And a Copilot is someone that will help. It's an AI model, a GPT model that helps divisions, finance division, marketing division, wherever it may be, assist in a very secure and a governed way. But we'll come to the Microsoft offering in our conversation with the director. Closer to home, Salesforce launches AI Cloud. Now, everybody is familiar with Einstein GPT. Salesforce are now taking it a step further, and they are trying to consolidate all of the GPT offerings into sort of a single cloud type platform. It'll take them a while to get there, but they are calling it AI Cloud. And here's the thing, this is what you need to have a conversation with your clients. Your clients may be taking a step back and say, well, you know what, GPT in the enterprise and the corporate world doesn't make sense. There's data governance rules. I mean, again, what do you want? Remember what we said earlier? How does GPT work? With a large language model. You feed it data. Well, your clients are going to ask you, well, I'm in the financial services market. I can't give you my client data. I mean, again, I can't give you client records, client ID numbers. I want the outputs. I want the value of GPT, but how on earth do we manage and govern it? here's the beauty, here's the secret of what Salesforce is doing. Salesforce are now launching an AI cloud. And you know what they're doing? They're creating an additional layer, and they're calling it the trust layer. They're calling it the trust layer. And what they are saying is, listen, give us the data, but the trust layer will ensure that all of the data will conform to your governance, your compliance, whether it's POPI, whatever acts are out there. You have a trust layer that ensures that you are not doing intelligence with your data that you should not. I mean, it has the ability to redact information dynamically, be it credit card information, ID numbers from the data before it passes it through a GPT model. So in your conversations, you're walking through the corridor, the conversation about GPT comes up, and there's apprehension. And you know what? There are issues and there are concerns about GPT. Well, again, this is an area where you can now start introducing things like um, the trust, the Salesforce Trust Platform, the AI cloud. You can talk about how Salesforce is now launching an entire platform that is bringing together the best of the individual GPT components, be it Slack, Marketing GPT, Service GPT, bringing it all together into a single platform. Doesn't stop there. I mean, again, for us, it's all about um, what are the big players doing? At BlueSky, we not only do Salesforce, but we are also a big AWS house as well. Now, remember this, also keep in mind, Salesforce and AWS have signed a multi-year global partnership. What you will notice is the majority of the integration between hyperscalers will start with AWS before Salesforce introduces it to other hyperscalers. So even with AI and GPT, Salesforce have now introduced a model called Bring Your Own Machine Learning. You see, what Salesforce are doing is they do realize that customers have invested in AWS. They do realize that customers have invested in the AWS AI capabilities like SageMaker. And customers have done a tremendous job. You go to the Standard Banks and the Capitex, and you talk to them about machine learning algorithms, they've done it. They've got those algorithms. What Salesforce have now done is they've said, fine, we're not just going to build our own algorithms and GPT. We are now going to expose it to hyperscalers as well. And they're starting off with AWS and Google as well. And so you can go to the likes of Standard Bank. You've built your models. Did you realize we can integrate it now with Salesforce? And let's now expose the Salesforce data via the trust layer to your machine learning models that you have already created. This is the breaking news, by the way. This is what's been happening over the last 3 or 4 weeks. So every single high-profile service provider has launched in one way or the other some sort of GPT, some sort of AI capability as well. Now, you've seen what Microsoft have done with Microsoft Fabric. You've seen how AWS are buying into the AI GPT world. You've seen what Salesforce have done. Now, I'm really happy and pleased to be able to have a Microsoft or the director of data and AI for their customer success unit join us on a call today. So let's hear from Microsoft Direct. And the reason you may ask, well, listen, we don't have Microsoft as a vendor. Listen, we do data with Microsoft. We've got Power BI clients. We are looking at clients with Synapse. We are doing ETL with Microsoft as well. So from a data perspective, it's very difficult to be very product focused. So we're trying to be agnostic. So I want to take this opportunity of welcoming Lawrence Reddy to the call. Give me a second. I'm just going to bring this up. So let me share my screen. Just to confirm, Lawrence, are you there?
Yep.
Oh, great. Well, welcome to our Tech Experiences. Welcome to the BlueSky environment. You've got a whole host of energetic, eager individuals wanting to learn more about GPT and what Microsoft are doing with GPT as well. So Lawrence, I mean, again, I'm going to give you an opportunity to introduce yourself, but you are the director of data and AI within the customer success unit. Can you elaborate more on your role?
Yes. Firstly, I want to extend my appreciation to be part of the session with you all. I think it's a fantastic opportunity that you guys come together. I love seeing that culture and that excitement because it's all about experiences. Theo, a big thank you for reaching out to me. So yes, I am the director for the customer success unit, the data and AI lead for South Africa. I'm also the digital apps and innovation lead director as well. What does that actually mean? So the customer success unit at Microsoft focuses on just exactly that, right? It's customer delivery and managing relationships with customers. We focus on execution. We focus on realization of value for customers. So when the sales unit hands off to us, we are responsible to realize that value. We are responsible for managing and optimizing. We're responsible for customer relationship. And we manage the customer experience from a reactive, from a proactive perspective. And the CSU is where the rubber hits the ground. So we focus on projects that have been qualified. We consult, we advise, we strategize. We focus on the next sustainable workload, and our goal is obviously driving Azure consumption, but with a focus on customer centricity. So I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, again, and that last part really got me excited, the customer centricity, right? Now, on the call, I think within BlueSky, you're going to have a whole host of individuals. You're going to have individuals from sales, pre-sales, architects, engineers. And for us, all of them have a part to play in a sales, in the sales cycle. So maybe give us a view of what is the typical Microsoft customer engagement look like, and how's the handover between teams or the handshake between teams?
Yeah, I mean, just to give you some background, so I've worked with previous Fortune 500 companies. I've worked for startups. I worked for a founder of a cloud company. I founded a cloud company and then I joined Microsoft. The thing that I've realized at Microsoft is it's very, very structured, very organized. It's there's a process for everything. And in terms of customer engagement, we follow a methodology called the Microsoft Customer Engagement Model. And it's a methodology that defines how teams operate. We have account teams, we have sales specialists, we have technical specialists that support the sales specialists. We have cloud solution architects that report to me. We have customer success account managers. We have, and then we obviously have our leadership, and we interact with one another through the MSEM methodology, which means that each team within that framework has their own roles and responsibilities, and they have very defined, handoff. So we have the initial team that will operate in a listen and consult phase, and there's 5 phases to the MSEM. There's listen and consult, there's inspire and design, there's empower and achieve, there's realize value, and there's manage and optimize. And within that MSEM model of the 5 steps, we have the account teams operating in the first 2 steps. We have the sales specialists that will go and will take potential opportunities and leads or conversations from customers. That's the ATU will then hand off to the sales specialists who will then qualify that opportunity. And once it's qualified, taking something that's uncommitted and handing off to us, the CSU. The CSU is then focusing on commit to close and managing that engagement all the way through. And that brings a lot of structure and brings a lot of order. And then there's another level of segmentation where we are broken up into solution areas. So we have data and AI, we have security, we have infrastructure, modern work, business apps. And having that, bringing all of these teams together, Microsoft is a massive organization, and we need to have that common thread about how we work together, and what our responsibilities are, and that allows us to operate at true scale.
Brilliant. I mean, again, and I love the stages as well, especially around listening to the client. And I'm sure that's driven from by workshops and education sessions as well. Now, on the data and AI side, I mean, what does that mean in the Microsoft world? We've just seen some breaking news. Microsoft have launched Fabric and Autopilot. I mean, again, can you talk about some of your products and what is data and AI in the Microsoft world?
Um, Microsoft, especially in FY24, which is we're now a new financial fiscal year now, and everything is going to be about AI transformation. I mean everything, and that is a message to whether you're an account team or whether you're in the CSU or whether you're. It's a message across the entire organization, and it's coming all the way down from leadership. Microsoft is heavily investing in AI, and you would have seen the announcements with the OpenAI investments, the investments in Copilots, that are the investment in the GPU infrastructure in data centers. So Microsoft is heavily investing in AI transformation. So it's not just any typical transformation. Our entire strategy is predicated on, helping customers achieve more. That's our motto, but doing it through AI. Now, what does that all mean? What does the data and AI actually mean? I mean, for us, you know, every solution area, every product, every platform is having AI baked into it. So every solution area, you'll see Sentinel with security being infused with AI. You'll see Dynamics 365 being baked in with AI. Microsoft 365 Copilots are out. Dynamics Copilot is out. There's a Copilot for security. There's a Copilot for Windows. So every solution, every product is coming with the advanced, and basically all of those technologies are what you've indicated, right? The GPT transformative ChatGPT experience coming to these products, but the data behind the scenes, is customized and has been tuned for the context of those environments. Um, we see data as a dependency. It's a key dependency for any organization wanting to go to AI. How can you decouple data from AI? You cannot. And what we're seeing is that there's a lot of focus on AI, but there's not a lot of focus on, the what needs to happen to data, right? Customers are wanting to unlock insights from data, but the thing with data is it's everywhere and it needs to be prepared, and there's ETL processes, and so that's why as soon as the launch of the OpenAI service, Microsoft launched Fabric, and Fabric is a completely it's a product that just transforms the way we work with data, and it breaks down. It doesn't just transform the tooling; it transforms how data scientists works with data engineers. It simplifies how for me. Fabric is the journey of data before it gets to AI, and it's Microsoft is simplifying that journey. Instead of moving data all over the place, Fabric allows you to keep that data in one place and still be able to work on it. Essentially, your data can still remain where it is, but using a concept called shortcuts, your data can be in this one lake and it hasn't even moved. So that's completely transformative experiences coming to enabling scientists and engineers and organization to really transform with AI.
Oh, brilliant. I mean, again, there's something that you mentioned that I really want, I mean, everybody on the call to take notice of. It's the fact that there are dependencies before companies and organizations can realize the value of AI. And that's where we play. I mean, you look at the data modernization, the data cleansing, the data ETL. Those are all opportunities for us. I mean, Lawrence mentioned as well, just the prep work required, not just on data, but also within the cloud space itself, within the integrations. And there, I mean, Microsoft's view about Fabric is very similar to what Salesforce is doing. We're trying to get the data, trying to have a single platform to control the interactions as well. Now, Lawrence, it seems as though like you and your team are very close to the ground in terms of data and AI, especially in engagements with clients, right? What are some of the conversations you are having with your clients? I mean, what's top of mind for them regarding AI and data?
Yeah, we are actually rubber hits the road, and we are the execution arm of these projects. So, I mean, AI includes a broad set of services, right? And for the purposes of this conversation, as you've indicated, we'll focus on GPT, ChatGPT, OpenAI conversations. So here's the pros and the cons. So we're seeing a lot of hype. We're seeing a lot of demand from customers. Now, in that hype is a lot of noise. And we have to be very clinical in terms of identifying noise from value. But what we are noticing is even the value requests are just the velocity of the requests that are coming through from all walks of business has been amazing. And we find that customers are absolutely fascinated with the possibilities, and they agree that it's something that this is something that they will invest in, and they want to build the best app. They want to build the best experience for customers. From mining to we operate across all enterprise. So my team operates in the enterprise and the S500 space, which is like the apex. From mining to government to financial services to retail to telecommunication, we're seeing a broad spectrum. I mean, from very simple use cases where all you're doing is taking ChatGPT and connecting to your enterprise data, to very sophisticated implementations where we're using DALI with generative AI capabilities to render, experiences. Um, there's one thing in common, and I think for the folks on the call, and even for you guys, there's one thing in common that we're seeing. All of these customers want to be able to connect their ChatGPT with maybe their own skin, with their own data. That's what we're
Mm.
seeing a lot from the ground.
Yeah. And you consider, I mean, just from a BlueSky point of view, our clients and the amount of data that we have access to within Salesforce. And we've got an integration capability. So we are able to mold not just Salesforce data, but we are able to bring in data from other sources, HR sources, internet sources as well. Imagine the possibilities. Lawrence, a couple more questions. I know just a few more, and I know you are pressed for time. Um, One thing within BlueSky, I mean, one of the key pillars at BlueSky is delivery, delivery, delivery. I mean, we want to, and our aim is to deliver at scale, to deliver with speed, but with quality as well. I do know Microsoft is renowned for that. I mean, given the enterprise clients that you operate in, I mean, can you share some? I mean, how does Microsoft do it? And specifically, I mean, and I know you is where the rubber hits the road, very much focused on delivery. What's that secret sauce?
For Microsoft to operate at scale, and I kind of alluded to this previously, that you have to. I won't give you the Microsoft marketing uh, jargon. I'll give you my perspective of Microsoft and why we can operate at scale. You have to have a structured framework, whatever it may be, a structured framework that ties the organization together, and that entire framework, for the most part, should be customer centric, right? Because that's what we are all here for. It's got to be customer centric, where we're all mobilized in some way, shape, or form to be focused on what the customer what the customer is wanting, what the value we deliver to customers. Now, whether that's in the early stages of listening and consulting, to managing and optimizing, or to enhance the experience, it's got to be a framework that's customer centric. Teams and that framework will kind of echo into teams needing to have very clear and precise roles and responsibilities, right? Clear lines of handover, and there has to be a single language, a single vocabulary, that everyone is talking. At Microsoft, there is nothing manual. Everything is automated, and I know you guys are obviously operating on Salesforce, right? There are workflows for everything. There's a single CRM. Um, Nothing is manual at Microsoft. I mean, literally Excel. Yeah, I see instances of people using Excel to manage this, but even at Microsoft, Excel is not a thing. Microsoft folks, they make the best use of the Microsoft productivity stack to achieve productivity. So they eat their own dog food. Another thing that's very important to manage education and compliance at scale at Microsoft, training, compliance, and education at Microsoft is mandatory. to the level at which it becomes a compliance issue and there's retribution. I'm talking, normal HR. If compliance is not achieved, and all of this is so well managed, it's measurable, it enforces accountability, and roles and responsibilities are tied to incentives, right? So you are incentivized for the area that you specialize in. All of this is driven through this well-structured, well-automated engine.
Oh, brilliant. Thanks. Listen, I think there's many aspiring technologists on the call today, energetic young people as well. I mean, what personal advice can you give them? I mean, based on your successes as well.
Yeah, so I'll just give you a little bit of background. So I was the first Azure MVP, Microsoft Most Valuable Professional for Azure in 2017. And then, my career has just grown in leaps and bounds. But here's the one underlying theme, right? You need to be part of the community. Don't isolate yourself. Be part of some technical community, whatever it may be, AWS, Microsoft, Salesforce. If there isn't one, create one. Extend yourself and use the community to grow and to share. I mean, I together with some other folks in Durban, we founded the user group, and we just grown and grown. And even though I work for Microsoft, I still am part of the user group. You need to have a desire to share. You need to push yourself, drive your visibility. Those are platforms to drive your visibility. Grab opportunities to stand and deliver content, because you're going to grow in confidence. You're going to grow in knowledge, but it's also going to teach you to share. So I also worked on a lot of NGO projects, nonprofit. One of the key ones was being part of the Rhino anti-poaching team. We built AI and ML solutions to detect humans and vehicles in Shishlui, Umfolozi Game Reserve. So what you need to do is, be part of the community, and the community doesn't need to be a meetup that you meet. Be part of social good projects that will drive yourself to go and unlock new technologies. And whether it may be AI on AWS, it may be AI on Azure, but you'll grow as a person.
Brilliant. Lawrence, thank you very much for your time. Thank you for the wealth of advice and direction that you've given to us. It's also good to get a view of a point of view from some of the market leaders as well. Maybe a final question for you. I mean, again, is BlueSky on the Microsoft radar? I mean, are we
Yeah,
coming up in conversations?
yeah, you guys are. I mean, I got here cloud solution architects deployed at Capitec. And we do a lot of work at Capitec, and I hear you, and I hear and I see you guys engage at Capitec. We hear a lot of good things. And keep it up.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. Thanks for your time again. It is much appreciated.
Pleasure.
Okay. Perfect. Now, I guess what you heard from Lawrence as well is the relevance of a technology, of a capability that we are starting to invest in, which is the data and AI. And by the way, I'm not talking about the data and AI BU. I'm talking about even within AWS, within Salesforce as well. You are now going to be walking the corridors at your client premises. You need to be educated. You need to have this knowledge around GPT, around the value of it. Now, very quickly, we're running out of time, but what I do want to do is, well, now let's bring it home, right? Let's talk about the relevance. Let's take one of our biggest verticals. Let's talk about GPT and AI and the impact in banking within the financial services. And the question that we can ask ourselves is this: is GPT and AI relevant in the financial services industry? Is it relevant to Standard Bank, to Capitec, to the ABSAs, to the net banks as well? A couple of things. Banks are expanding their use of AI. And the way and the areas are not just on the front end, or not just in the front office. Listen, banks want to come across as slick. They want to improve their customer experience so that they can retain their clients. What better way to do it than when I'm phoning the contact center, somebody immediately answers, "Hey, Theo, nice of you to call us. I know that we've got an open issue for you. Here's the update." Before I say anything, determines who I am. That's using GPT. It's using AI. That's what the banks are starting to leverage. By the way, Salesforce Service Cloud, combined with Amazon Connect, combined with GPT models. That's a reality. That's what's happening on the ground. And so that's the front end. And so banks are absolutely looking at AI technologies to improve the customer experience, but also looking at the back end. What they're doing now is taking the data that they have and they are feeding it into the large language models. And what do they want to determine? Fraud. We want to detect fraud as early as possible. We want to be able to detect any anomalies. So it's not just within the front end of the FSIs, it's at the back end that AI and GPT is becoming so relevant. Now, here's something that Lawrence also mentioned, right? None of this happens overnight. None of this is going to happen by default as well. There are key dependencies. There are key investments that banks need to make. And the three, by the way, that are key dependencies for AI and GPT, by the way, are the areas that BlueSky focuses on. Now it comes right. Now we're going into the weeds. Why is it relevant for you and me? What type of skills and knowledge that you need to have? Three areas, three key dependencies for any GPT, any AI deployment. And that is cloud migrations, data management, and API management. And unless your clients, unless the standard banks and the APSAs have this in line, it's their AI and GPT endeavors will not be successful. So what are the challenges? Let's talk about integration. Integration is massive. What are the challenges that they have? Well, again, longer time. If you don't integrate with multiple systems, it's longer for you to launch a product into the market. You are going to have limited reusability of code. You're going to have teams working in isolations and not be able to reuse the content. It's going to be harder to partner, harder to collaborate with external partners, by the way. I mean, banks no longer just want to be a bank. I mean, they want to provide services. They want to integrate with partners. They want to provide additional services to their employees as well. We need to remove this poor user experience. We want to be able to seamlessly stitch data across silos. By the way, this is what we are doing at Capitec at the moment. So how can BlueSky help? We're promoting what? We're promoting reusability. We are going in with an integration first approach. Be able to integrate one system, reuse that code to integrate other systems, create or remove the silos, enable access to granular systems, reduce complexity, have a marketplace of APIs available. If I want to integrate into the core banking system, hey, here's the API, here's the governance and security requirements. That's what we are doing at Standard Bank. So API challenges are there. That's going to be, just keep your ears out at the clients around challenges within integration components. Let's talk about cloud challenges. In order for GPT and AI to be relevant, you have to start using cloud native tools. You can't sit and operate within legacy systems in your data center. You need to be able to benefit from the bursting capabilities of cloud. What is the bursting capabilities? Black Friday, right? Your customer base is going to increase what? 50, 60 fold? You can't invest in expensive hardware on premise to cater for 60,000 users for one day, and the remainder of the time, but again, you're servicing 10% of it. So you need to be able to dynamically burst your workload within cloud and burst back, burst transactions into the cloud and burst back. That's what we do within the AWS space. And so that's how BlueSky can help. And then the final component is around the data challenges. I mean, data is all over the place. We help cleanse data. We help consolidate data. How can BlueSky help? We can provide a level of accuracy, single source of truth in a very cost-effective way. BlueSky is, I mean, this is our inaugural, this is our first Tech Xperiences event. It's going to get better. The content is going to get better. We're going to get even more guest speakers. We're going to get our clients front and center. but I'm hoping you appreciate what we are trying to do. We're trying to educate you. We're trying to give you information about what's relevant in the market. And not just for BlueSky, for you as an individual. Your brand is important to us. And so if you grow accordingly as well, BlueSky will benefit. There is so much more. What we're going to start introducing is some predefined labs that we have created. We are going to give you access to some GPT transformers. We are going to connect our data to those transformers and see what we can do. We are going to eat our own dog food or drink our own champagne. How can we use this technology? Remember what Lawrence said? Everything within Microsoft is automated. The process, the workflows, nothing's done manually. That's how they achieve their efficiencies. I want to take this opportunity to thank you all. You've been an awesome audience, all of you on the call as well. We are running out of time. I'm not going to open it up for questions, but if you do have questions, the Teams chat will be there. If you need any information, please reach out. But once again, thank you very much.